very much like to visit the Maharani of the world. They agree readily. Even though the Prime Minister at the time says, don't do this, these favours just go to heathen princes' heads. And so it is that he comes to Great Britain. And so it is that he's embraced by Queen Victoria. She actually really becomes very fond of him. They become very fond of each other. Since we are among art connoisseurs, I thought I'd just show you a painting which is very interesting. This is a portrait that Queen Victoria has painted of her favourite, Dilip Singh, by the court artist Winterhalter. I want to show you just a detail of it. She's going to hang this in Osborne House, which is the very centre of her circle of trust. Only people she really loves are allowed to Osborne House. And if you go there now, and maybe some of you have, you'll still see this hanging in Osborne House. Just around his throat, can you see the little cameo of Queen Victoria? He wears another by his heart, and he will for most of his life. And these two are so fond of each other. They spend hours sketching each other. If you look at the sketch portraits, which are also at Osborne House, they are very tender. They can only have been done by people who like looking at each other for a long time, and people who are very warm towards one another. There is one thing missing in this Winterhalter picture, where he's dripping with jewels and diamonds, and it's the Kohinoor. And if you read the diaries of his guardian, Lena Logan, she says nothing affects him more, not the loss of his mother, not the loss of his kingdom, more than the loss of the Kohinoor. So where is it? Where's the Kohinoor? Well, the Kohinoor came to England before even Dilip Singh. And again, this is another sort of bit of a curse mythology. This sort of helps. It's mythology of bad luck, because in 1849, after being transported by Dalhousie himself in a top-secret James Bond type mission, where he hides it upon his person and nobody else is allowed to know that he himself is carrying it to Bombay, they finally found a ship to transport it to England. And nobody in the crew, apart from the captain and one member of the East India Company and one man that Dalhousie trusts, are told that the Kohinoor is what is the cargo. So the box is loaded onto the ship. And from the moment this ship leaves the port of Bombay, it is almost as if this rock is dragging the crew to hell. First of all, it's only sort of a few days into the voyage, and the first people under deck start falling sick. One by one, like dominoes, they fall. Cholera has broken out on the boat. Cut to Lockyer, who knows that panic, once you've got a plague ship, you're in big trouble. He has to get this crew together enough to get them to make the trip all the way back to England. So he says, don't worry, we're near Mauritius. And Mauritius will have medicine, will have water, will have food. They reach Mauritius, they reach the territorial waters of Mauritius, and Mauritius says, you're not coming anywhere near here, you are a plague ship, we will blow you out of the water with cannon if you come anywhere closer. And so they send them on their way with just a little bit of water and the tiniest amount of medicine. And this ship limps along, and Lockyer keeps telling his crew, just a bit further, come on men, we've got to just get to England. They hit a typhoon, one of the worst typhoons recorded that year, which almost splits the ship in half. The mast is almost ripped from the deck, it almost breaks in two. And so this beleaguered, half-dead crew land up on British shoreline, and then they find out what it was they were carrying. Now this is not the only bad luck that takes place, and I know we're running out of time. I'll give you a little bit more, I don't know how much we've got, but I'll tell you a little bit more about the bad luck. It just heads into this ship, this sloop, the Medea it's called, has just entered British territorial waters, and a freak accident takes place to one of the greatest statesmen in British history, a man called Peel, who was beloved by Queen Victoria. She loves him. And he's a great horseman. And bizarrely, the moment this ship enters British territorial waters, Peel has an accident on Constitution Hill. He's riding his horse, he's thrown from his horse, which is unheard of, and then the horse falls on top of him, killing him. Weird. And then, moments later, in another part of the city, Queen Victoria is attacked by a madman who comes out of the crowds while she's leaving her uncle's house and hits her over the head with a cane and gives her a shiner of a black eye and a terrible cut to the head. So when she's actually in her palace waiting to accept the Kohinoor, she does so with a black eye. In her diaries, if you look at it, she's none too impressed. How much time have I got? Can I tell people about the Great Exhibition? Yeah, shall I? Yes? Oh, good, okay. So when is it that the Kohinoor really becomes the rock star, forgive the pun, this international celebrity that it is now? Well, it happens in 1851, 2 years after it arrives in Great Britain. And it is the great exhibition that turns it from an interesting diamond into an infamous diamond. So for the great exhibition, Prince Albert has this idea that he's going to show the very majesty of his wife's dominion. The very best of what is British is going to be shown at this exhibition. A huge building of glass is constructed in Hyde Park. They say it looks like the Kohinoor itself. The papers have been beside themselves talking about the Kohinoor. You know, it's as if Brad Pitt or Justin Bieber and everybody else you care about has been rolled into one and rolled into town. And so this massive edifice is created. It's going to be a huge exhibition. And the star attraction is the Kohinoor. It's on the posters, it's in the adverts in the newspaper. Come and see the great exhibition. It is the Kohinoor. And what happens when the first of the ultimately 6 million people file past it is disappointing. It is a resounding mess. Because this is not a diamond that they had imagined it would be. It doesn't shine, it doesn't sparkle. It's cut in that Mughal style. You saw the little sketch that I showed you a little earlier. It's got a flat top. It doesn't catch the weak British sunlight. It doesn't sparkle. And so, oh, it is, by the way, displayed in a gilded cage. I love this detail, like it's some kind of ferocious evil animal that needs to be caged. That's how it is displayed. But it doesn't sparkle. And so people are profoundly rude about it. And the newspapers start writing really bitchy articles about it, as if, you know, it's some kind of misbehaving child that's refusing to sparkle. They start doing sort of cartoons of you know, people who come to see the Kohinoor and they're wandering off and actually marvelling at a pretty worthless piece of quartz because they think that's the Kohinoor. And it becomes a laughing stock. So Prince Albert, in desperation, because this is not how this was meant to play, keeps tinkering with the setting for the diamond. So first he puts gas jets all around it. Well, that helps, but not so much. They're still being very rude about it. Second of all, he puts mirrors and gas jets around it, changes the colour of the bolt of cloth underneath it. That helps a little bit, but not enough. Finally, he says, my God, okay, we've got to do something. He builds a shack, a wooden shack around the Kohinoor. So, you know, people have to come in. One of the newspapers say, you know, you have to descend into an Aladdin's cave. I mean, it's a quite brilliant idea. He's managed to create Britain's first sauna. Because that's exactly what happens. People line up, they go in, and they pass out as soon as they get to the diamond. So it is a spectacular failure in 1851. And that is when Albert decides enough is enough. It has to be cut. It has to be cut in the Western style, the sparkly style, because this has been hugely embarrassing. So he goes to his foremost scientist, a man called Brewster, who's known as the father of optics still in Great Britain, a fantastically eminent mind, and says, Brewster, can we cut this? And Brewster looks at it, he examines the Kohinoor, he says, no, there is a flaw at the heart of this diamond. If you cut this diamond, it may burst into flames and just burn like coal. It is not the answer Albert wants. And you know that old saying, you know, if you pays your money, you calls your tune. Well, he's offering a lot of money, Albert, for this recutting. And so he goes to those diamond cutters that William was talking about, who are in Amsterdam, the leading diamond cutters in the world. And he says, can we cut it? And they say, how much are you paying? It's quite a lot. Yes, we can do it. No problem. And they assure him that they are not going to reduce the size of the diamond. The cutting itself becomes a huge celebrity cause. You know, they set up this state-of-the-art workshop in Haymarket to do the cutting, and there are crowds of people outside, even though they can't see anything behind the corrugated gates. Well, not corrugated in those days, but the high gates. They can't see a thing, but they're like sort of anxious relatives waiting for a patient to come out of an operation. The man who does the first cut of the Kohinoor is no less than the Duke of Wellington himself. An octogenarian at this point, whose hands are gnarled from war, who is the hero of Trafalgar. He is the man who's going to do the first cut. And to make sure he doesn't destroy the diamond, they encase it in lead so that he can only cut a tiny bit and not destroy the diamond. Here you can see like a cartoon at the time. This predates the Elephant Man, but you can see what the papers were making. This great ugly creature is going for some plastic surgery. And just very briefly after that, it is only when it is recut that it becomes the gem of state that we know today in the Tower of London. And there is a whole heap of stuff that goes on in between, and I will leave you to read it. But suffice to say, Rani Jindal makes another appearance. Rani Jindal has a pivotal role in Dilip Singh's life. He changes from becoming this man who adores his queen to a man who calls her Mrs. Fagin, the receiver of stolen goods. And as for the curse, well, at the age of 42, Queen Victoria loses her life partner and the love of her life, Prince Albert. And the Duke of Wellington dies days before the diamond is even has finished being cut. He doesn't ever get to see the diamond in its glory. And Queen Victoria, though, even when she is a widow, even when she has eschewed all colour from her life, she's not wearing any other jewels in particular, she still wears the Kohinoor. Why? Because like Alice in the Looking Glass, this is the shiny thing that her people, who will never see India, just as she will never see India, can tumble through and get a sense of their power and dominion in the world. Thank you very much.